Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alright, so today I'm going to be drinking a rum and root beer for the first time, which I am looking forward to doing much more so than not, as I am personally a very big fan of root beer. I'd have to consider it to be my absolute favorite type of soda, and so as such, I am quite curious to find out just how it will pair with rum. Will it be good? Will it be bad? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out. And I'm also looking forward to finding out just how a rum and root beer will be when compared to a classic rum and coke / Cuba Libre. Will it be better than a classic rum and coke? Will it be exactly the same, just as good as one? Or will it be 10 times worse? Well, I don't know, but I am very excited to find out for the first time today. But what is the rum I'm going to be using for this experience? Well, what I've got with me today is a bottle of Rhum Barbancourt 8-year from Haiti, which cost me roughly $30 USD at my local liquor store. And the rum inside this bottle, of course, was aged for 8 years, as the name implies, and also has an ABV of 43%, along with a proof of 86. This is the rum I'm going to be using today, but what is the root beer I've got with me today? Well, I have some classic American Barq's root beer in a small can. Now, I'll acknowledge that Barq's is not my favorite root beer. I personally prefer Boylan or IBC root beer. However, I was not able to find any prior to this video. It can be a bit hard to find those two different brands these days, I'll acknowledge. And so as such, I had to settle for Barq's, which I'd have to say is probably my third favorite brand of root beer. Either way, I'm still thinking this stuff is gonna be great with rum, but, well, I don't know anything for sure. And so as such, I do suppose without further ado, I should probably go ahead and get to making my first ever rum and root beer, now shouldn't I? So let's go ahead and put the camera back just a little bit, just like that, if I possibly can. Let's go ahead and grab my Crown Royal glass I've got right here, and let's go ahead and pour in just a little bit of rum, and then add some root beer on top, mix it up, and then take a sip and find out, well, just how it actually is for the first time. Is there anything else I wanted to add to this? I was thinking about adding lime juice to this, but I've decided not to because I'm not sure if lime juice is really going to be good with root beer. I can always figure out if I want to add that later on down the line, or whether it's something I want to do in the future. I will readily acknowledge though. But let's go ahead and get the cork all off, or all out of this bottle, just like that. And let's go ahead and just pour a little bit of rum in, I'm thinking. And I'm thinking, that'll probably do. I'm thinking that'll do. So let's go with that. And let's go and put the cork back on real quick. And now let's go and get my can of Barq's root beer all opened up. Just like that. And just for context, I am going to take a quick sip of this just to remember what it tastes like, as I haven't had Barq's in some time. Oh yeah, that is good. Very nice, sweet, brown sugar, creamy, slightly caramel-esque flavor. Man, root beer is so good, I gotta admit, it really is my favorite type of soda. Well, let's go ahead and now pour in my root beer with my rum, and just fill it up as much as I'm wanting to. I'm thinking that should be good right there. Still got a little bit left in the can, but that ain't no biggie. And let's go ahead and now just mix it up real quick. Not too much. Don't want to get rid of the fizz. Hoping that will do just like that. But now that I have gone ahead and mixed up my rum and root beer, I am now thinking I should probably go ahead and actually take a sip of it and find out just how a rum and root beer actually is for the first time. So, without further ado, y'all, let's go and take a sip of this beverage and find out just how good or just how bad a rum and root beer actually is. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, that is pretty dang good if I do say so myself. I'm getting a very nice taste of root beer on top, getting that sort of creamy, caramelly, sort of... I'm trying to remember what defines root beer as being root beer. Like, what does it contain to, like, really make it root beer? I'm not exactly sure, in all honesty. I just really like root beer. I really like the flavor of it. But I'm getting a very nice, like, well, root beery flavor. Up top, I'd have to say, just that very nice sort of caramelly, creamy, smooth root beer flavor with an undertone of liquor. I'm not really able to tell any of the undertones of the rum itself through the root beer, I will readily acknowledge, not at least at this point in time, but you know, overall, very solid if I do say so myself. No complaints on my behalf. I'll acknowledge I was actually a little bit nervous for this experience because I have previously tried mixing a different liquor with root beer before. When I was drinking, when I was younger, I had my first ever experience with liquor, and I did not have a particularly good experience. I, as my first ever bottle of liquor, bought a bottle of Tito's vodka, which is disgusting. I hate Tito's. I still hate Tito's today, and the main reason why I hate Tito's is mainly due to this bad experience I had, but I wasn't really willing to drink the Tito's straight. And I was like, you know what? You know what's going to cover up the flavor of the Tito's? Some root beer. So I mixed in some really nice IBC root beer with the Tito's vodka. I didn't even pour that much in. I just wanted a buzz. I didn't even want to get drunk. Oh my God, it tasted so bad. I even mixed it up. It was so bad. It was so gross. It was disgusting. And thankfully I can say that this is not gross, that this is not disgusting. I would have to say it's not better than a classic rum and Coke. I do think Coke has certain aspects to it that make it pair a little bit better with rum than root beer does. However, this is still a solid pairing. I wouldn't say it's better than a rum and Coke. I also wouldn't say it's worse. It's just different, but it still tastes great. And there's that little bit of liquor under there, and the rum flavor really does a very good job of combining very well with the flavor of the root beer as well. In my opinion, the rum Barbancourt has a very mild flavor to it, so I wasn't sure if it was just going to completely disappear into the flavor of the root beer, but it does shine through just a little bit, I will readily acknowledge. And the rum flavor itself that I'm getting, well, honestly, it just tastes like rum/liquor. It just tastes like kind of, I'd have to say, sugarcane sweetness with no really prevalent undertones. There's plenty of mild yet prevalent undertones when it comes to the rum Barbancourt when you drink it as straight. But when you put it in the root beer, you really can't tell any of the undertones. You can just tell there's liquor in there, and you can tell it's definitely rum. It's definitely not anything else. You get that sort of sugar-caney, brown sugar sort of flavor. Even though this is made with pure cane sugar, not made with molasses or brown sugar or anything like that kind of thing, made with pure cane sugar, but it definitely combines, it definitely combines very well with the flavor of the Barq's root beer, of root beer in general, because root beer has that sort of caramel, brown sugar flavor to it, more so than I'd have to say Coca-Cola does, in my personal opinion. And those flavor intricacies, those flavor points, definitely just mix very well with the flavor of rum, which almost has, but depending on the rum, matching flavor points. I'd have to say the rum Barbancourt probably wasn't the best rum to use for the experience today, just simply because the flavor of it is a little bit different when compared to many other rums I've tried in the past that I personally feel like combine very well with Coca-Cola, for example, like the Appleton 12 or the Appleton Signature or Old Monk or something like that. I think all of those would definitely be a better option with root beer than the rum Barbancourt. Either way, though, the rum Barbancourt is still not a bad option, and it still tastes really nice. I'm just not able to tell really any of the undertones of the flavor of the rum through the root beer, but the rum Barbancourt is also a very mild tasting rum in my personal opinion. It's not something with an overwhelming flavor, I will readily acknowledge. Yeah, the main flavors I'm really getting from this really are that sort of brown sugar, caramel, creamy sweetness with, I'd have to say, an undertone of like cane sugar, brown sugar, and liquor. And that's very much the flavor I'm getting. I don't even think that. It's more just like liquor and cane sugar. Maybe a little bit of earthiness, sort of like grass, sort of like grassiness as well. I think I might be thinking about it too deeply, though. Yeah, flavor-wise, yeah, the root beer is up top. Brown sugar, caramel, cream. Then an undertone of liquor, with a little bit of sweetness coming from the liquor itself, for sure. It's not really super prevalent what the sweetness is itself, but it matches the sort of brown sugar, sweetness, and caramel very nicely. And there's maybe a little bit of grassiness coming from the rum. But honestly, the root beer really does do a very good job of covering up pretty much every intricacy of the rum itself. The root beer really does cover everything up. And so really all you get behind it is just that sort of liquor flavor with a little bit of sweetness, and that's really how you can tell it's rum. I have also heard that whiskey and root beer is really good as well. So that is something I want to try in the future. And I've heard it can give you a little bit of a different flavor. But yeah, overall, I mean, like, I'd have to say a rum and root beer is pretty solid. I wouldn't define it as being better than a rum and coke, but I also wouldn't define it as being worse. I'd say when it comes to just on a scale of how good a rum and coke is kind of thing, a rum and root beer is right on the same line. It's just different. It's not better. It's not worse. It's just different. And that's just kind of how it is. Still tastes great. Still a good drink overall, but just tastes different. And that is kind of my personal opinion, I will readily acknowledge. Yeah, overall, would I have a rum and root beer again? I'd have to say I would. I'd have to say I would. I will readily acknowledge. How much sugar is in this can? Oh my god. Oh my god. 28 grams of sugar. Yo, that's wild. What the hell, bruh? That's crazy. Well, we got a smooth finish, though. Let's find out. Yeah, very smooth finish. A little bit more liquor on the finish than previously, but nothing too much. Nothing that makes you go, oh, wow, that's alcohol kind of thing. Nothing that makes me go like that. I don't really know how much we have left. I don't really know if it's enough for another full one. Yeah, we only have that much. I'm not even going to bother mixing. I'm not even going to bother mixing any rum with this. I'm just going to drink it straight just because, well, I think adding any rum to this would be too much. But I don't want to let the soda go to waste. Definitely a little bit, I'd have to say, less carbonated when you mix the rum in as well. That's partly due to me adding a non-carbonated beverage to a carbonated beverage, of course. And that's partly due to the fact that I mix it up as well. But with just the rum and root beer, the carbonation still comes through a little bit. You still got a very nice sort of smooth root beery mouthfeel. The rum doesn't take away from that by any means. And overall, I'd have to say a rum and root beer is pretty dang solid, if I do say so myself. Pretty dang solid, so certainly no complaints on my behalf. Overall, I got a nice buzz going. I enjoyed the flavor of the drink I had today. And I would definitely have to say that I would have another rum and root beer again in the future. Overall, a solid, enjoyable time that I've enjoyed having. I ain't gonna lie. Overall, I think I'm gonna give a rum and root beer a solid 4 out of 4. I think the rum and root beer I had today would have been slightly better if I had used a different rum, like the Appleton 12, Appleton Signature, or Old Monk. I just think all of those would probably pair better with root beer, frankly put. But either way, this was still pretty solid, even with this bottle of rum. And I'd have to say, whenever I'm not feeling like either A, having caffeine, due to, well, Coca-Cola having caffeine in it. So if I want to make a classic rum and coke / Cuba Libre, but I'm not really wanting any caffeine, I think a rum and root beer might be a good option for me. Or if I'm just not wanting a rum and coke and I'm wanting still something made with rum that's a little bit different and whatnot, I think a rum and root beer might be having to go for my go-to in all honesty. Overall, rating-wise, I'd have to say a rum and root beer, 4 out of 4. 4 out of 4, which is the exact same rating I gave a rum and coke. It's just as good as a rum and coke, not better, not worse, just different. Do I think the rum and root beer I had today needed anything else, though? Do I think it needed anything else? I think you could definitely make it a more complex drink if you really wanted to. You could definitely add some lime juice if you really felt like it. I personally don't think I would, though. I don't know. I just can't see the lime juice really working very well with root beer. I'm not sure. I do think quite possibly maybe some Angostura bitters could be good with the root beer, though. So maybe if you want to try something a little bit more complex, other than just mixing root beer and rum together, you could try adding some bitters. Maybe, I'm trying to think of something else. Maybe... Are caramel bitters a thing? I don't know if caramel bitters are a thing, but you could try adding those if those exist. Yeah. There's definitely some things you could make to the drink to make it probably taste a little bit more interesting and make it quite possibly maybe just a little bit better, but either way, just the classic rum and root beer, pretty solid in my personal opinion, and I got no complaints on my behalf. Excuse me, frankly put. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say, but before I go and end the video, I want to grab myself a little bit of a screenshot for the thumbnail. So let's do that real quick. My face, all of a sudden, as soon as I want to grab a screenshot, though, got itchy. Well, hopefully one of those will do. We will find out. Worst case scenario, I can always grab another little bit of a screenshot for the thumbnail of this video after this video today. Overall, though, I've had a good time. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of rum and root beers, if you guys have had one before. And if you guys haven't had one before, let me know what you guys think of them based off of what I had to say today. And also, let me know what you guys think the best root beer to mix in with rum actually is. I'm sure the Barq's is not the best. I am guessing, just guessing, that Boylan or IBC would be better. But I don't know that for sure. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think the best root beer to mix in with rum is. And maybe I'll have to try that in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, where I tried a rum and root beer for the first time. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. If you guys have, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. Box, and my other channels all in the description down below. Go check them all out. Also, go check out my book, all in the description down below on my website. Go check it out, you know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for watching this video, though. To the next one, stay safe and peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?